What about if I started to really take the piss out of Invercargill?
I'd probably go deep. You figured I was born there? Someone used to say to me, isn't Invercargill the arse end of the world? And I was like, no, that's bluff. Invercargill's 18 miles up it.
Graham Bloxham for Wellington Live and Wellington in Your Pocket today with Vanessa Stacey, all the way from Invercargill, would you believe? We only interview people from Wellington, but we're going to make an exception this time. This is a piece about celebrating Wellington's women.
Oh, great.
And uplifting and giving feedback and advice. Welcome in.
Killed it.
Awesome.
Nice to see you.
Awesome. Why did you come to Welly?
I actually came to Wellington because I wanted to study at Toi Whakaari. So I followed my partner at the time up, and he was at drum school, and I wanted to go too.
Awesome. So and are you, you're an actor?
I am, yes.
An artist?
Yes.
A comedian?
Yes.
A family person?
A family person. Yes,
Yeah.
I like my family.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what about community? Into community?
Totally into community.
Yeah. And do you use social media?
I do use the media of socials.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I do use social media.
Yeah.
It's a very important part of my job.
You've got a laugh that's very infectious, and one that can I imagine that laugh is a bit mischievous.
Yes. You can imagine what you like, Graham.
Yeah. So you're, it's great to have you in, and celebrating Wellington Women is
Wonderful.
about leadership and giving advice about leadership.
Great.
Would you give yourself any advice for a 21-year-old yourself?
Just to be tenacious. I think the hard thing being an artist is, and I think the role I have now, I spend a lot of my time sort of holding up artists and trying to create space for them. So, yeah, just to be tenacious and to not, I think the arts can be hard, particularly the last couple of years have been really hard for a lot of people. So just to be tenacious and possibly not to listen to too much advice. Because I think if you have your own voice as a creative, that's the most valuable thing that you could potentially have.
Awesome. Well, that's really nice. And I guess tenacity, or however you say it, is about pushing through and trying harder. And is it about leading?
Yes, I think so. I think so sometimes. Sometimes you have to, a lot of the arts is quite collaborative. So it's about finding a space where your voice can still be heard, but you're open to collaborating with other people and other ideas. I think one of the hardest things when I first started collaborating with other artists was taking it too personally. If you present an idea and they're like, oh, well, we're going to go in this direction. And that just stunts you because you sort of sit there for a minute in it. You've got to be open to contributing without expectation, and then for the greater good for whatever it is that you're working on. You know, you're going to collaborate with people. You're going to use the best ideas that you.
Who have you worked with?
I've worked with all sorts of people. I am a musician as well, so I have several bands.
And the guitar?
I don't play the guitar. No, I really wanted to play the bass, but Dad said that wasn't a girl's instrument. So
Thanks,
I
Dad.
play.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. So I play keys and I make beats. So I'm a beat maker.
Can you do the human beatbox?
No.
No.
No, but you can, which is great. We'll have to have a jam.
And you've worked with other actors?
Yes, I've worked with
and
lots of
actresses.
other actors.
Yeah.
And I just did a fantastic show before I became the Fringe Festival director. The last arts festival, I was part of Brett McKenzie's show, the unbearable, or the brief but terrifying reign of Phil. It's a tricky title. The brief, but it was based on a novel, which was fantastic. Very satire based, so quite topical considering what we were going through with Trump. So it was about utilitarianism really, and this idiot coming into power. and everyone just sort of going along with it. And thankfully I played the lead role of Frida, who was the one person on the inside going, this is a problem. Has anyone noticed this guy's a problem? This is a problem. So I sort of
so
played
you were like the counterbalance to the madness.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the person, the kind of everyman who was inside going, this isn't okay, guys, this is not okay.
This is Brett McKenzie, Wellingtonian.
Wonderful Wellingtonian.
Yeah, wonderful Wellingtonian. What about the dark times when you're not getting the cut through, or you're not making some income, or some, when you as a professional, how do you get yourself going? How do you maintain this beautifulness, this personality, this energy in the dark times?
That's a really good question. I think that the last couple of years has been particularly hard for artists as well. Well, for all of us, let's be honest, but the arts has been substantially hit. I think I've been lucky to work consistently for the last 25 years because I make things. So I think it's really hard having trained actors for them to come out, I want to be an actor, and sitting around waiting for your agent to call. We just don't have a strong enough industry in New Zealand to do that. So I think, and the most successful friends of mine make things. So I would say to artists, if you don't feel like the work is there to hold you, make it yourself. Make your own work.
How do people apply to get into the Fringe? Do they pitch?
The great thing about Fringe Festival, it's an open access arts festival, so it's the only festival in New Zealand that, to a certain extent, isn't curated. So we open registrations in late August, early September. They're open for about 5 weeks. This year we had a record registration. I think because people have been thirsty and creating work, they've had so much time at home to make work in the last couple of years. So we had a record registration, nearly 80 registrations.
Do they all get in?
Yeah. We
so
create
everyone gets
space
to go.
for them. Obviously, this year, a month out from the festival, they announced red restrictions, so that had a big impact on the capacities. We're lucky with Fringe because a lot of the spaces, we had 48 different activated venues. So a lot of the spaces are quite, so it affected the capacity that we could have. But as opposed to larger festivals who have larger venues, it's,
What's one of the biggest fuck-ups that have happened in a festival? I mean, we used to run events with 400 people and we'd do maybe 7 or 8 events a day, interactive cooking experiences in a brand called Social Cooking, and, a multi-box not turning up can throw you.
Everything, absolutely.
Just there's so many things that one thing can screw you up. What's a situation that you've been in that's just been like, holy shit, and how have you recovered it?
If I'm honest, problematic things tend to be technical. We
Like no sound.
Or just something breaks down, or we had with this beautiful exhibition down in Oddlands Plaza, ironically on the last night, it was the last night of the festival too. It was a really nice way for the whole team to get together because we'd just had such an intense 7 or 8 weeks that we were rinsed, so it was really lovely. We were like, let's congregate down there to see it for the last, and then break it down at 12 o'clock that night, And I arrived there between shows, just popped in to say that we were heading down there, and Jamie was in a panic because the something had reformatted, and we don't know what had happened, technical, and so I had to rush home and get my laptop because she didn't have hers with her, and just troubleshoot. You just, it's funny.
Happen.
Yeah, that's right. And it's funny being the director because people are like, oh wow, that's such a glorious, glamorous job. It's like I'm the last person there making sure the toilets are clean. I'm the person running, really that's the job. It's a good title. But it does also mean that you just have to make it happen, and that's years of generally disasters are technical.
What about piss takes? Is it okay to put the boot in these days?
Mate, that's what the Fringe is all about.
Yeah. What about if I started to really take the piss out of Invercargill?
I'd probably go deep. You figured I was born there? I spent every holiday there. My grandparents were there, mate. There's nothing you can say about Invercargill that I couldn't get.
The place to be.
Oh, look.
Invercargill is the place to be.
Look.
They grow the most pot in the country.
Do they?
No? But, you know, anything's possible down there, don't
They could get away with it.
Yeah,
Well, someone used to say to me, isn't Invercargill the arse end of the world? And I was like, no, that's bluff. Invercargill's 18 miles up it. So
Fantastic.
That's right. So
Excellent.
there's nothing you could say about Invercargill, Graham, that I couldn't come back with.
Well, I tell you what, Wellington, that has been absolutely worthwhile and a lot of energy, and an honorary Wellingtonian
Thank you.
sitting to my left. Enjoy that interview. I've been Graham Bloxham for Wellington Live and Wellington in Your Pocket.